Okay, guys, we got head coach Joe Scott, junior guard AJ Walker. We will begin. Brent, I'll start with you if you have the first question.
Yeah, well, Coach, just any statement you want to make to start off?
Well, I think we started off pretty well. Like I felt coming into the game, we were ready to play. We'd practiced well. We were prepared. I knew our guys were ready to play, and like I just told our guys, I don't actually think we played poorly. One, I think they played really well. I don't think we played poorly. We didn't turn the ball over. We had single-digit turnovers all the way until late in the second half. I thought we got good shots in the first half. If you're going to look at that run, right from the start, I think we missed layups, we missed some wide open threes, and I think the lesson learned throughout this year is in this league against these teams, we got to get better at putting that ball in the basket there. We got to get putting that open three in the basket, making that layup, because those are all the things, that taking care of the ball, and that goes a long way towards limiting that run. And as I say that, they obviously have some guys who are pretty good at putting the ball in the basket. You got to give Hamilton and Jenkins, you got to tip your hat. I think they played really well. This time of year, everybody's ready to play. And I think, they put the ball in the basket better, and they played better than we did today, but I do not think that we played poorly, at all.
I guess, what does that say about the challenge facing you then? If you feel like you didn't play poorly and and it was this lopsided, is this, I don't know, do you view it any differently now than you had weeks, months ago? And
I don't no, I don't view anything differently. What I view is, I view what I've witnessed and watched. That's what I do. I know what I've seen, and now I know my players know what they've seen. My players and our players and I and my coaches have seen the same things now. Whereas I couldn't say that until just now. We got here last April, and I didn't meet this guy in person until sometime in August and get on the basketball court with him the first time sometime in August. So, I know from here forward that when I talk to our guys, there's going to be an understanding. They've learned things. It's a common experience now, and it's a common experience with us knowing each other. And I think that's where the greatest amount of growth comes from in anything you do in life. When you're with people that know you, you know them, you know how much they care, they know how much you care. There's a common sort of bond, there's a common experience you've gone through, and boy, oh boy, does that lay the groundwork to really improve and jump forward. And that's the way we're going to view it, because that's what this situation is. And as we do that, to your point, I'm not going to make believe that UNLV doesn't have good players. And we're not going to make believe that Utah State isn't a big-time challenge and say, yeah, we know that already. All right? But since we know that, then anything that we say, and then we understand the level to which we have to attack it, because we know what the caliber of competition is. And I think that's a positive that we can take away from this time forward. We're going to know exactly what we're talking about. And we have a shared experience now that, we know how much we got to care. We know what we got to do in April, May, June, July, August, the times of the month where you build that sort of foundation. Going forward, we get to build that foundation, having had this shared experience together, and I think that's going to really help us moving forward. But there's no question, Brent, that the teams in this league, especially this year, but always, the teams in this league are good. So I think that should motivate our players more to go ahead and move forward, do the things that we have to do.
Jake?
One for Coach, one for AJ. We'll start with AJ. AJ, Coach keeps on saying that, hey, we're in the right direction. We're going in the right direction. One, do you agree with him on that? And two, what's got to happen this offseason for you guys to take that next step so you're competing with the SDSUs, the Utah States, even the UNLVs of the conference?
Kind of going off what Coach was saying, just we have a foundation now, and we know what to look back on over these conference games that we played. We know that the teams, the top teams in our league, we know what they do, we know how they play. So we know that for us, we just got to go back to what we need to do, that we know how to work on our offense, work on defense individually, everything like that to just move forward.
Coach, for you, what's the biggest need this offseason? I know growing up is probably going to be a big part, but if you could get some people to grow, would that be something that you're looking for? Like, what do you want to see from your guys this offseason? What you want to bring in?
Well, I mean, what I want to see from our guys is the understanding of what's required. I don't know what transpired before I got here. I just know what's required and the type of person you have to be, and how much you have to care to be a really good basketball player. It requires so much. You got to be consumed about it. And I don't care if you're at Air Force, you're at the Air Force Academy. It's a place about excellence. Good. We need guys that want to excel at basketball, and that's what they do. Knowing education's important, knowing there's a military component to the school, but so what? I'm a basketball coach. This guy next to me is a basketball player. Well, that means that's what drives you in your life, and you go about your work every day with that kind of, approach. And we need guys like that. I need guys, and we need guys that are that way, and that's who they are. And then you grow from being that way, And then as you do that, he just said the word foundation, and Chris and Keaton and Amika, they did everything that I asked of them this year in a crazy season, in wild, different circumstances. Those guys deserve a lot of credit for the way they acted and behaved. And we've laid the foundation to move forward that way. And then what you need is you need new blood. You need new blood to come in and join this guy and the other guys that have learned what we just said, and they behave and act that way. And you need new blood to come in that maybe are 2 inches taller, a step quicker or faster, maybe a little better shooter. I don't know, but that's called building a program. That's called having a plan and a vision and knowing it takes time and that it's a process. We're going to be good at Air Force when we've had time to build a team. This is about building it. Building a team takes time. It takes the things we're talking about, and then it takes the right people and putting them in the right places. And those people understanding what that vision is and them just pouring in like you can't believe. And, that's what we need to happen. That's what we're going to work to make happen. And that's going to be how we move forward with our program.
Jim Arthur, do you have a question?
Is he on?
Brent, do you have anything else?
Yeah, well, AJ, back to that analogy of, laying the foundation so you can build. Are you a little bit disappointed or surprised at how deep that foundation is? How, there have been a lot of lopsided losses. There were a lot of struggles. Were you surprised? Because this wasn't a particularly young team. I mean, you're a junior. The three he mentioned are seniors, Abe Kinraid. Were you surprised at the struggles you guys encountered this year?
No, not at all. I mean, we all, every day, practice, we're all getting after it with one another. I mean, we just know that it's not going to be done overnight. So, I mean, it's a lot of grinding, a lot of just passion into this game. It's a lot of just learning at this point. I mean, kind of like the foundation had to get broken up to put that new foundation in. That's what Coach has been harping on us, is just we just got to break old bad habits, from wherever we got it from, and just all have the same mindset and be able to go from there and grow. So that's all we're about to do these next couple months, and then on to the next new season is just continue to grow.
Okay.
Jake, one more?
Else, guys.
Okay,
one
thanks,
more
Brent.
for you, and it's a quick one. What's the biggest thing you learned from Coach Scott this year in terms of just, you've had the full first season with him, again, like Coach said and alluded to, you guys didn't get to know each other until the season really started. So what's the biggest thing you learned about him?
You just got to put everything you possibly can into everything you do. That's not just basketball, but life, school, things like that. I mean, that's what he teaches us through basketball, is that we got to put everything we possibly can, the things that we love, but also like things that we have to take care of off the court as well. So it's constant just work in different areas of the game, and you can see how that translates to life and school as well. So that's one of the biggest things I take away. But I mean, there's also a lot of knowledge that I'm still trying to pick out.
Thanks, guys. We look forward to seeing you hopefully in person this next year.
All right, same
Hey,
here.
thanks, guys.
All right,
Appreciate
thank you,
it.
guys.